like winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, we got the A team in this morning. Undersheriff Charles Yslas with us this morning. Sheriff on his way. I think he's a little wrapped up at the moment, but he'll join us when he can.
When you're the boss, there is no time.
That's right. We march to your beat.
That's right.
But first off, thanks for spending some time with us. We do appreciate when you and the Sheriff come in and visit. And I know both y'all's schedule is pretty intense, and there's unfortunately it's hard to cement anything in your schedule because your schedule's dictated by the public, really, and what goes on and what happens and things. And so even though you're like, oh, it's a day off today, but as soon as something major happens, and oh, guess what? It's not a day off no more. Yeah. And so that happens to yourself and your sheriff's day quite often. So,
right.
So we do appreciate when you're able to spend some time and hang out with us.
Absolutely.
Is that thing on the blink again?
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
It gets sometimes it gets in one ear and out the other.
It took me back to the 80s there for a minute.
Oh yeah, well in that particular set, that's that's one step away from a Walkman headphone.
Hey, that's all that's missing is the old cassette tape.
That's right, and it is a fashionable white too,
right?
By the way.
yeah, that's always good.
Pretty sure I got those free with something. I don't know. It was I know those are because the ones we had before broke, and I was like, well, I got these from somewhere, and we just put them there.
I've got these from the 80s.
Yeah, they stole them from Michael J. Fox's DeLorean. But I gotta say, it seems like y'all been pretty busy here with just between shootings and car accidents. It's just been a lot of just stuff that's been going on around town lately.
And then you throw the fair right in the middle of the mix.
Sure.
And
which from what I hear sounds like for the most part, everything went with the fair. Everyone behaved, no real major incidents or nothing. And
we had one little incident at the front gate, and the lieutenant that was there, she's about 5 foot tall, and she jumped jumped right in the middle of them like a cat in water. And that was the only issue we had, and it was a great fair.
Yeah, and so because usually you always hear one or two of some knucklehead doing something out there or something, but it was for the most part everyone was pretty even keeled this week.
And it was unbelievable the amount of people that came out. There were a couple of nights where we just the parking lot filled up.
Yeah.
There was no more parking in any of the parking lots, the north one and the south one. Then they did an overflow parking, and that got full. So people started parking at McCoy's, and you're thinking, where are all these people coming from?
Yeah.
But then the reality is it's been so long since we've had something like this.
Yeah.
And it's time to have something like this.
Yeah.
The people want to get out and enjoy themselves.
Sure.
It was great to see the families out. It was great to see the kids out.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to see everybody enjoying themselves and actually having a great time.
Yeah.
Even with the rain. It was amazing how many people stayed and just enjoyed the rain.
I don't think we wanted that much rain, but yeah, there was some blessing
for that amount of time.
Yeah, but I think for something it was and plus I think it also put the spotlight on some of the other parts of the fair that sometimes doesn't get the spotlight as much.
Right.
Like the railroaders and the education building, and certainly,
absolutely.
I mean, the commercial building's always packed, but
sure.
People were much more interested in more of the stuff in the commercial building when it was pouring out raining out there.
They always want to do the rides.
Yeah.
They like the commercial building for the freebies and the raffles and things. And one part that does get overlooked is the arts and crafts building. Mm-hmm. Until it rains.
Yeah.
And like you said, when it rained, everybody ran there, and then it was great.
It's like, man, look at all this cool stuff. The railroaders and the pumpkin.
And that railroad's been there forever. I mean, I love that.
My boss is now getting in the club.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, matter of fact, he spent a good chunk of the week working with the model railroaders in there, helping run the trains and all that. So he's,
that's an expensive hobby.
It is.
I didn't realize how much those little trains were worth.
By the way, they, because I think a lot of the guys that are in it are older, retired guys and things. So if they're looking for fresh meat, younger meat to come and take over the railroading. So if there's folks out there that are into model railroading or would like to get into the hobby, reach out to them. I think they meet every weekend out there. That's their permanent home.
It's really neat the way they build a little miniature city.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how much
and it's very
they put into
technically detailed. And I didn't realize that much till my boss was telling me a little about because I'm thinking like when you're a kid with little trains and all, and it's way different than that now. Now they've got technology with the electronics
the little light
and
comes
stuff.
On
but even just running multiple trains on the same track and running it in a way so they don't run into each other it's legit a little like you got to have a minor engineering degree to work some of this stuff.
I wish I had some of those model trains that my parents told me don't tear up when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because apparently now they're worth some money.
Now they're valuable. It's not like all your G.I. Joe and Transformers and whatnot. Yeah. So.
Everything we threw away and trash.
Yeah. So, but it was glad to see that people got to see that stuff.
It was a really good event, like I said, and on one night there were 8,000 plus people. Just on one night. And it was and every single night it filled up. And it was great to see people, and we saw some of the same people every night.
Mm-hmm. They kept coming back and having a good time, yeah.
Exactly.
And I kept hearing from multiple, I mean, not just the organizations I'm involved with, but other organizations that were having, various raffles and things, your gun raffles or grill raffles. Well. And every one of them said that they either sold out of tickets or sold a whole bunch of tickets. So
they did really,
everyone
really
was very pleased. So, yeah, it was a good event, and I'm glad everyone came, had a good time, and was for most part pretty incident free for a fair. And I mean, you always get a couple kids lost every year.
If you call rain incident, so be it.
It is. But,
it was really and it was really structured. We got together with the fire department and the volunteer fire departments and other agencies and we worked out a really good system. We always put an IAP into action.
Sure.
And everything is, the rows are numbered, so whenever a child was lost, they were found pretty quick.
Sure.
And we didn't have any incidents.
I'm kind of curious, and this is just a gee whiz logistical question, because obviously, and we all know, the sheriff's department, the RPD, the state police, they all have a finite number of officers that are part of each department there.
Correct.
Obviously, when an event like the fair happens, that puts a strain on everybody because the rest of the town does not stop doing things. Life goes on. Granted, a lot of people go to the fair, but there's a lot of people not at the fair, living their lives, doing their things
in town.
So you obviously can't just pull all your deputies and say, go to the fair, because we got the rest of the county to worry about.
Exactly.
How is it really a coordinated effort?
It is,
because I imagine. County thing, okay, the county's going to pick up more responsibility at the fair, and then the city's like, okay, well, we'll put more officers in some of the areas where you guys patrol. I mean, is it really that kind of event or logistics going on prior to the fair?
It is, and we met several times prior to the fair, and you have that overlap of coverage.
Yeah.
So you make sure that your shifts are still covered. And then you put your sign up on the board. You determine how many deputies or how many officers your agency is going to need to provide.
Okay.
And then that's basically an overtime gig for them.
So it's actually a bit of rewards for some of the officers that looking for extra time and things. And if overtime's very scrutinized, which anytime there's a government operation, it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And so when you're like, okay, we got carte blanche overtime here, and a lot of officers like, great, I can earn some extra money here.
Not only that, they can also enjoy the fair with their families. They can walk around, they can see their families at the fair, because on their days that they are working, they're probably not able to go to the fair.
Gotcha.
They're busy. So by volunteering on their days off, they not only get the overtime, but they get to enjoy the fair with their families as well. So we had all different agencies out there: state police, Roswell Police Department.
I'm curious too, and this compromises security. Please just shut me up here. But do all the officers, are they show up in uniform or anything, or some like designed to be plain clothes, just blending in with the crowd in case, is there both of that there?
There's both.
Okay.
There is both.
I kind of thought, but then I was thinking, well, maybe they don't want me to know this information.
And some of us will walk around. Some of them would be on ATVs or SUVs.
Sure.
I'm sorry, UTVs.
Yeah.
There's all these different acronyms.
Right. Vehicles that aren't cars.
the neat little go-kart looking things. Yeah. And so, but some of us, like myself in particular, I found it a lot easier to move around.
Yeah.
By just walking to where I needed to get, because you're honking the horn, people aren't getting out of the way. And,
sure.
I mean, they look great. They look really cool. And and they come in handy.
Absolutely.
We assisted handicapped people and things like that getting to their vehicles, especially with the rain.
But in an emergency, it's hard to move fast with those things. It is.
So we have, we had a little rotation and so I had people rotating. Lieutenants were overseeing certain areas. And the same with the other agencies. You do a lot of walking around, and it's good. You get to see people that you haven't seen and visit with everybody.
Well, and that's just it. To be honest, for most of those officers, most of their shift or time out at the fair is you're just an information guide. And that's and that's exactly what the officer wants to be. Because at the end of the day, if people are just asking where the bathroom is and where the food is, there's not issues like lost kids and someone's getting
but he can tell you where both of them are.
Yeah, and that's why. And so half the time it's just nice to have them out there walking, and you'd say, hey,
right.
And plus it's a great opportunity to talk sometimes like just one-on-one, and like. So say you're interested in a career in law enforcement.
Sure.
You're a young man or woman that's, in that transition in life where it's time to decide what you want to do. That's a good time to pick the brain of some of these deputies and say, hey, well, what is it that draw you to law enforcement? They'll tell you all that stuff.
Well, and we actually did. I did have that.
Yeah.
We had a booth at the front or a table at the front with our command post, and then we had a table in the commercial building. And I was approached by a New Mexico Military Institute cadet. And he said, I'm getting ready to graduate, and I've always wanted to go into law enforcement, and that's what my degree is in. And is there any way I can give you a call? Well, I gave him my card, and lo and behold, he called me day before yesterday, set up some ride-alongs for him. I'm gonna, meet him down at the office, show him around, give him a little bit of insight into the business.
Sure.
So it allows people to ask you about your job, and it also it's community policing.
Absolutely,
it shows them that you're human as well, and you're not just the uniform, and we're not. We want to talk to people.
Absolutely,
we want to be approachable.
Effective police officers are police officers that, yes, are police officers, when in uniform and everything, but when they're members of the community too. So and I mean just you personally. You personally, I've seen on calls and things where you're talking to someone and it's like, look, we're here too, and you're talking to them like, all right, how do we solve the problem? Not who am I arresting today? And that's where the conversation gets. Where when they see you all the time and talk to you, and when you're in the Circle K or the Allsups or whatever, and getting you a cup of coffee and like, hey Charles, how's it going?
Right.
And then when they see you out in the call here, then they
or Walmart,
that's at the end of the day, because when the incident does happen, they're like, I know this dude. I'm not going to give him the runaround,
or you can call him by name. You know him, and that calms people down a lot of times.
People know that there's an element of trust when you've seen them more than once.
Sure, and people don't realize that in communication, when you're communicating. Good morning, Sheriff.
Hey, Sheriff.
When you're communicating, 80% of communication is listening.
Yeah.
So if you listen to what they're actually saying, you'll find out what the problem is, what they're upset about.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to solve. Not everybody needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
There are those that do. But not every incident requires someone to go to jail.
And I've watched. And by the way, Sheriff is joining us. Good morning, Sheriff.
He's the boss, so he gets to sleep in.
That's right. That's right. Good to be in charge. But but and I've said this a bunch. The Live PD and On Patrol, these types of shows, and which by the way, they're in Bernalillo County now. If you ever watched some of those,
we actually saw them up there when we were up there.
Oh, did you?
And we were driving by, and all of a sudden, this guy jumps out and he's got a camera down and he's videotaping, and this officer is talking to another individual, and we do a double take, and I called one of the other lieutenants and said, hey, did you see that? He goes, yeah, it's Live PD. I said, wow, they're getting a little bit closer.
Yeah, they've been all over. But what I like about that is it shows a lot of exactly what you're talking about. You get a lot of times where you just come across someone who's just mad at the world.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, mad at girlfriends, mad at they lost a job,
mad at life.
Yeah. And so a lot of times the officer just sits there and lets the person vent and everything else. And once that happens, everything kind of calms down, and it's like, all right, you realize you're a knucklehead, right? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And they either calm down or they calm down enough and go to jail because they've done something else wrong. But but at the end of the day, it went from a heated conversation to that's it. Instead of going from a heated conversation to now we got a bunch of people laying on the ground rolling around trying to
and you always have that deflection. Deflection is one of the things we use. When they get through venting, if they're wearing, let's say, I'm going to use the Denver Broncos since my boss is a Denver Bronco fan. But if they're wearing a Denver shirt and I say, hey, are you a Denver fan? You ought to be out of here for that. Come on, man. or what, and then what's your team? Well, mine's worse than Broncos. I'm the Giants fan. Last time we were at the Super Bowl was 2007. But
there's not very many of you around here.
Sure, we're far and few between. But what it does, you get that line of communication started, and then you're able to talk to them, and they're more apt to tell you what the problem is.
Sure.
And that's what we're there for. We're not there to put everybody in jail.
It's just humans relating and connecting.
Solve the problem. And if they're upset, we just keep that contained.
Yeah.
And until they calm down.
And by the way, that's the same tactic they use with, like, if you come to the sheriff's office complaining about something, we'll sit and listen.
We have those.
And then we'll explain to you why it's done the way it's done. But we'll let you vent to make you feel better.
Right. One of the things like he was talking about, whenever I've gone into houses, and you'll see people have their stuff everywhere, so you can look around and see what they relate to. So I always do that, with the Dallas Cowboys. I always say, hey, look, we already know you don't make good decisions, right? So we go back and forth. But when you do that, it really takes their mind off of that problem right now.
Sure.
And gives them a chance to deflate. And,
and it also makes you look more like a human to them because they already look at you as the authority.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't relate to you. You're the one judging me, or you're the one who's about to tell me my fate here.
Yeah.
And so they treat you as such. But then when you come at them with a joke or with something they relate to, or talk about something that they're into too, then they're like, oh, wait, that's just some guy, just like me. He's wearing a uniform.
And the thing that I do also is I make sure that everybody within our department understands that when a person calls you, that problem that they're talking about, whatever it may be, or if you're called there, that is the biggest problem in the world to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get there, you have to take that very serious and listen, but you also want to deflect the anger from that person back over this way and basically say, look, leave them out of it. Let's talk here, let's do this. And so
become the punching bag a little bit if you need to.
Well,
sometimes you have to.
The verbal punching bag, obviously, but yes.
Yeah.
So if you ever read on my Facebook page, you're going to see, you have people on there all the time bashing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the same people all the time.
Absolutely.
Well, one of them I was reading today says, it's good to see that you're at the office taking candy, but you haven't called me back yet. Well, for 27 years, I've always called that person back. And they know that I call back. Yeah. It's just that whenever they're angry, then they're wanting to file a complaint or they're wanting to do these things, they're wanting it done now.
And
their problem is the biggest thing,
They probably know you at a certain level.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they know if I say this, that's going to tick them off just a little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they know the button to push to try to agitate or stir the pot a little bit.
And for me,
so they say it to do that more so than...
Exactly. And for me, I'm on the other side of it. I've been doing this job for so long that those things don't even get under my skin. And the reason is because I know what's being done.
Sure.
When you know what is being done around you, you don't worry about all the other little gossip. But that's the things that we're dealing with. And it's like you guys were talking about with the fair earlier.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main purposes for us at the fair, we had 10 guys out on overtime. We were out there. I was out there every night. We were there sometimes till 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It was to meet and greet people.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about looking for trouble.
Sure.
It was about driving around, letting them know you're going to have fun tonight.
Sure.
And it's going to be safe here.
Well,
and that's what we're about.
Let's face it. Yeah. We all know this. Human beings are people of or just creatures of opportunity.
Opportunists.
And just the fact that if you're walking around and every few feet you're going to see a law enforcement official or someone that looks like they're keeping an eye on the place. People that are looking for opportunities are going to look elsewhere.
Their opportunities dwindle.
Yeah. So like your pickpocketers and those types of people that thrive in crowded scenarios like this, they see a bunch of police officers walking around. They're like, this is probably not the best place to do this. I better move along.
Well, on that note, it was awesome to see that, and we already know this, that here in Chaves County and in Roswell, we have some amazing, honest, good people. They turned in. We had cell phones turned into us.
Wallets.
We had debit cards turned into us. Wallets with cash still in them.
That's great.
Turned into us.
I love that.
And we were able to find the owners of a lot of that stuff. The ones we couldn't find.
With the money
we
still
turned
in
over
it.
To absolutely.
How awesome is that? Yeah.
Exactly. And it was, and with that amount of people and those and everybody trampling on top of everything, they took the time to come over and say, we found this cell phone, and sure enough. Yeah. Someone would come looking for it. It was great to see that.
We also learned that rain, sleet, or snow, people were going to the fair.
So we were
That's
talking
right.
about.
It didn't matter.
But
There.
they were ready. I
Yeah,
mean,
they were
we
ready.
had a full
Yeah.
fair last year, which was nice and
yeah.
everything. But after a couple years without
We
it
had a
or less
reigning
versions
full
of
fair
it,
this year.
yeah, people were ready to come and have fun and
you're
good
talking-
time. And the rain didn't fully rain on our parade here,
Yeah.
but
Right.
and to be honest, we can't complain. We need the rain,
No,
and we got more
We
rain
do.
coming this weekend. And
Thank goodness. Yeah,
we'll
we
be
do
glad.
need it. And
I am curious though, like when we get weekends like this, does that stir the pot, or like like allegedly it's supposed to rain all day Sunday?
Yes.
Does crime take a rest, or is it Sunday in football and now that everybody's indoors, it's going to be
So-
10 times worse?
So weather can cause issues at home. So if you have something that keeps people cooped up together,
Yeah.
our domestics go up.
Gotcha.
Our domestic
Okay.
violence
Like
go
during
up.
COVID.
So you're probably
Yeah.
going to see a lot more of those
Right.
Sunday, Monday this weekend.
Yes,
here.
and
like
depending
during
on-
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
And
gotcha.
depending on who you're cheering for football, maybe there's some issues
Well,
there. So there might be some
Us,
problems.
our Seven Commanders fans have nothing to do this weekend.
That's right.
We won yesterday and are still
Yeah.
depressed because that was a sad game.
Yeah, that was a pretty sad game.
12-7. I'm like,
but,
geez.
but yeah, so they when the weather's nice and you can see by the moon at night, our burglar or basically stealing a property from people's yards go up,
Gotcha.
burglaries go up.
Sun's out, guns out.
That's right. And then
That's
if it's a day that keeps everybody home, domestic violence goes up. But we really see different types of crime during different weather.
Gotcha.
It
So
changes.
and
Sure.
then you got people who don't understand that you got your windshield wipers on and you got your headlights on. You may be able to see in front of you, but you're not going to be able to stop.
Exactly.
And so when we were out there directing traffic in the rain, it was a very dangerous situation at times because people were looking over at the fair. They're not looking at you.
Excited,
And, it
distracted.
could've-
Yeah, lots of
Took
bells and
could have been
whistles.
very, very, very bad
Took us
situation.
back to. You ever play the game Frogger?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Kind of
yeah.
reminded
yeah.
us of Atari back there for a while. We were playing that game out there for a while.
Got a few highway dodgings and everything
So-
else out there. But
So I was going to tell you yesterday, Lieutenant Mason calls me up and says, "Hey, come over to Zia Guns, and we're going to. They've got something over here they want to show you." And I was like, "That okay? You know, sometimes they get
Are they setting
stolen
you up for a
guns."
practical
We didn't tell him. We didn't
No.
tell him what it was.
So-
okay.
So I get there, I walk in, and they have the one chip challenge chip there. For
Oh,
me.
the Pocky chip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I have done that.
I did that, and it didn't do nothing to me.
You
it
know
was
what?
it was crazy. Yeah. So Yeah.
When we did it here, I feel like I won
yeah,
because
I won.
I wasn't puking and doing all the stuff everybody else did. Matter of fact,
yeah.
about 30 minutes later, I went down to Asian Market and had me a nice beef and
Yeah.
broccoli
Well, then
lunch.
I
That's
feel
what
like
I was-
both of you won because just watching people do it
Yeah.
makes my gallbladder hurt,
Well,
makes my stomach
yeah.
upset,
So,
and just
You know, but when you're first getting ready to do it, you're like, "Oh man, I've been watching all these people on TV."
anxiety.
But I eat so many habaneros in a day. I eat, I will say this: the jalapeno at Golden Corral
Yeah.
was hotter to me than that chip is.
Ooh, that's
And-
a
and-
slight.
Yeah, and,
Like,
but
that's all you got.
That's
Yeah,
a challenge
right.
accepted, right?
and then people put on there, "Oh man, it's going to get you later. It's going to be this or that." It never even did nothing.
Yeah,
to me, so.
to be honest, now I did it back when they were charging like $50 for one of these chips,
Yeah.
and you can only get them online.
Right.
And I don't know if they've changed because I imagine as there's more demand, they're probably fresher.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
one I
no.
got was old.
Stale?
It tasted
No.
like it was in a
Yeah.
couch cushion for about a month.
Yeah, I think that you couldn't taste the chip at all
It
because
was just
of the
dry and
because of the
old.
seasoning.
My,
on it.
Yeah.
my question would be, how do you know what a chip tastes like in a couch cushion?
Hey, sometimes you gotta eat.
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta
So-
eat. You're like,
Just
how
had-
long's that
I just
Frito
had
been
to
there?
ask.
Yeah.
I was like, I had Fritos last
You're
week,
like,
right? Maybe it's one of those.
To heck with it. I don't know. You weren't craving one until you saw it, right? You're like, I'll go for it.
So
There's a penny and a Frito.
Yeah.
All right, put
Yeah.
that in my pocket.
I'm rich, and I'm gonna be.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna be eating.
so we did that, and that was fun. I really
Good deal.
thought that was a good deal. You know, it.
So did you get like a prize or something?
No,
for eating it?
it just. But
It was just like a Game of Thrones thing.
Congratulations,
It was
you
just
got some
like-
indigestion.
Yeah,
It's
it's like that.
He's
Okay.
like, all right, well, your throne's been challenged. He's like,
Yeah. All I did was take off this shirt just in case the snot started running. You didn't want to have.
maybe that's how we get their sheriff.
Yeah,
if you
that's
can
right.
beat the sheriff in the chip challenge, you're
That's
now the
right.
sheriff.
Yeah, that's
Let me
right.
tell you, and he's going to be the sheriff for a while. Because
Yeah, that
It's
was
like Game of
pretty
Thrones.
yeah.
We'll just,
good. Right. Yeah, so we had fun with that,
I
and
don't
then
do
like I
the
said,
chip challenge.
we do so much stuff, and like he was talking about earlier, the candy donations and things that are coming in. The people of this community, I'm
Amazing.
talking all of Chaves County, they're just amazing. They continue to
We'll keep bringing in and keep
bring it.
supporting because I know
Oh, yeah.
the sheriff's department needs help, but there's a lot of other entities. I know our American Legion's collecting candy,
Yes,
so
yeah.
as much as you can give to
Yep.
everybody.
There,
Give
there
to
are so
everybody.
many trunk or treats
Yeah.
going on that
Yeah.
it's great to and
we're going
we'll
to be
out
at like 8
on the
different
20,
trunk or treats.
Yeah,
starting
we'll start on the
27th.
27th on.
Good deal.
Yeah, so we'll be out there, but
Out and about and visiting.
it's a good thing. Plus, we're doing the having Pecos Elementary. All the students from there
The
come to
kids.
the sheriff's office and or through to the whole county complex. And
Okay.
we have ours set up like a haunted house.
I know this might be a city thing or something, but with Halloween being on Monday, is everyone is there? You know how sometimes someone's like, well, "We're all going to trick or treat on Saturday now."
So-
has there been any of that talk or anything? Or
so
is
there's
it-
trunk or treats all the way from Thursday
Okay.
to
Through
Monday.
Monday.
So you can officially trick or treat on Monday. And,
Absolutely. And there's going to be huge
They're not going to
events
give.
on
They're not going to
Monday.
give up a day, man.
Gotcha.
They're going to
I
say,
just- Well, and I've seen this not so much in Roswell, but
Yeah.
in other communities.
in Artesia, when on Friday night, if it was there, you didn't have Halloween. if the
Artesia
game was
moves
going.
Halloween.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
like, oh, if the 31st fell on a Friday, you're like, no, that's
Yeah.
not Halloween.
That's football
this
night.
is a football Friday.
That's
It's
right.
Artesia.
Yeah.
Wear your orange.
Yeah,
Everyone better be
it's
dressed
a
as a
bulldog orange,
fan.
not pumpkin orange.
that's not.
Tomorrow night,
We'll do this.
We'll worry
yeah.
about Halloween. But
Right.
That's
and
exactly
if
right.
you go knocking doors, they're like, Halloween's tomorrow, dude.
They don't
If
even
you-
answer. They're not even there.
They're not
Yeah,
even
'cause
there.
they're
They're at the
Bulldog
game.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we're a little different. We see great crowds at every
Yeah.
event, and
Which, by the way,
good.
Coyote fans, you better fill that other side of the Bulldog Bowl tonight.
oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, that's a big game, and it's
is.
going to be. It's the game of the week. It's
Yeah.
every eyeball that's into high school football in the state's going to be keeping tabs on that
watching
game
that
tonight.
game.
Absolutely.
The Goddard Mayfield one's a big one too here at the Wool Bowl, but
Yeah.
but that one too has got a lot of eyeballs on it.
Well,
so.
that's a rival right there.
It
You know,
is. Of course, that's all right. Once you're
That's what I
district,
mean,
man,
yeah. Once
Goddard,
you're there.
Roswell, Artesia, just interchange it. They all
When,
it's all
when we
rivals.
were in high school, it was Clovis.
Yeah,
Clovis was our biggest,
Yeah.
our
Oh,
big
yeah.
rival
That
for
was
us.
a big
for
one.
Clovis is
Roswell
usually a
High.
good team. They've had a down year here this year.
Yeah.
They got new coach,
They're
new
young.
system, and
They're
yeah,
just
they're,
young.
they're
Yeah.
if you have a thing such as rebuilding in high school, that they're
restructuring.
they're kind of in the midst of that right now.
Right, that's
But then
right.
you look at like Hobbs right now, who's just lighting it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're getting
yeah.
after it, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Well, we support every bit of that, and we just try to make it to where people know, hey, go there, enjoy the game, and let
Yeah.
us deal with the problems.
Yep.
And
When you see the officers out there, whether it's sheriffs
Yeah.
or
Come up and
RPD
say
or
hi.
who or
yeah, we love
yeah,
it when
come
people
visit,
come talk.
You know, yeah, come.
Absolutely.
So
And
it's
if
a
you need
good
help,
thing.
you need assistance, that's what they're there for.
And
even
you-
if it's just where's the bathroom,
Yeah.
they can help you with that.
Well, you
too.
talk about out there at the fair. I was on that side by side, and you're going about a mile an hour maybe, but you were doing. It's very slow, but you're also shaking hands and talking to everybody
Sure.
as you go. And what I like on those side by sides is the horn is a meep meep. It's like a Roadrunner horn. You know, that's what it reminded me of. It's not a loud, overbearing. So whenever
Right.
you come up to people in line and you hit the horn, it's more funny than it is anything else. So it doesn't come across as being overbearing
not
or
threatening.
It has
or-
the same effect. It gets their attention.
Yeah. And
but
then
it's
they
more
look
of a,
and
what
then
in the heck is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
like, hey, excuse
Yeah,
me.
Or
that's
are
what I
you
do.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
Yeah.
that's what I do. You like that horn, and then they all laugh and let you go by. But it takes away that. You're just like anything. Your approach can cause people's demeanor to change.
tension.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you hit a crazy horn, you're going to make people mad.
Sure.
But if you have that, they're like that.
You're
What the heck
de-escalating
was that?
people. They're coming in laughing
Yeah,
and
so it was-
more friendly.
And we laugh
Yeah.
at it too.
So
Sure.
we
And
laugh.
so
And
I laughed every
the only
time
way
I
you
used
make
it,
it
so.
more funnier is butch it up real butch,
Yeah.
and to make it look tough, and then go beep beep.
That's what it is. Yeah.
He said, hop in. And I hadn't ridden it yet, so I jumped in and he said, watch this. And he said, I'm going to honk the horn and so that people get out of the way. And he honked it, and I said, oh, quit doing it. Don't do that anymore. I tried to pull everything up over my face.
It's embarrassing.
Sheriff, don't honk the horn anymore.
I love that stuff.
I'll holler. Get out of the way.
You need to be carrying a drink with an umbrella in it while you're driving it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you what, it was very successful, and
good.
We are thankful for everyone who volunteered their time, like Dexter and Sierra, volunteer fire departments who were out there and donated their time. At the sheriff's office, all my lieutenants, the undersheriff, and myself were out there. We're all salary. We don't get paid anything extra to be there.
Sure.
But you have to have the manpower there because there's so many people. Yeah,
it is. It's a lot. Like
we
you said,
were there
a lot
Monday
of people.
through Saturday night at 1 a.m.
And thankfully, most everyone out there is great people, and it makes y'all's job a lot easier when everyone's out there looking out for each other.
Yeah,
so it was a good thing.
Sunday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday night, if you want to call it, we looked at each other and said, "Whew, got another one with no
incidents.
issues."
Yeah.
We are.
And the biggest thing,
everyone had fun. Yeah.
And the biggest thing that we would deal with mostly was just people losing kids. But it wasn't that they lost them; it's that the parents were in line and down there watching, but they're talking to each other. So the kids get off the ride and go to the next ride.
Sure,
so all we did was just go to the next ride. Yeah,
or the parents are moving and the kid sees a shiny thing and stops and looks at the shiny thing.
So we had a couple of kiddos that bumped their heads. So we had little medical things.
That's always going to. Anytime there's kids and families, those things happen.
As long as no one falls off a ride, man.
Then you introduce a moving metal ride, and
exactly. So. We're about out of time here, but is there anything else we want to make sure recruiting? Anything we want to get the word out about here?
So right now we're still hiring at the Chaves County Sheriff's Office. You can go to chavescounty.gov, fill out an application, and we'll get you interviewed and tested quickly. We are doing it responding faster than we've ever responded before because of the system is faster with the applications.
Good.
So we can get things done. Also, we do have a lot of events coming up this weekend, and not this weekend, Halloween week.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to make sure people know, put some lights on your kids, be with your kids, and be safe.
Traveling groups. And if you're driving, watch out for the kids.
Yeah, watch out for the kids.
Please go slow. Pay attention. If you have tinted windows, roll them down.
Matter of fact, that whole weekend of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that whole, when you're in your neighborhoods, just go extra cautious, extra slow.
Every day.
So,
and as always, if you know of a crime or if you know a crime has been committed or have information, we did have a recent homicide, so if anyone has information on anything like that or any other crime, 624-6500.
Like and follow the Chaves County Sheriff's Department Facebook page.
Absolutely.
And the RPD and New Mexico State Police because, it's a great source for information, be on the lookouts, those kind of things. But safety tips, concerns, a lot of that's addressed right there.
And if you're not a tech-savvy person, and you get the Roswell Daily Record. He covers the internet. I cover the Roswell Daily Record. You're going to get the information, and that's the key thing is getting the information out.
Absolutely, and that way, because so many times, like you said, some of these homicides and things, and they get solved because the community helps.
Absolutely.
The sheriff's department. solve it.
They help.
And so they cannot do that without your information.
We have to have
your support.
their assistance.
Your information is valuable in making sure our streets are safe and our neighborhoods are the places that you want to raise your kids in.
Absolutely.
So that's good. And then I just hope and pray allergy season goes away fast.
Yeah.
It has got a hold of me this morning.
I've been getting a headache around noon every day for the last 4 days.
Chip.
No, I had a day before that.
See?
So I
The
was
chip
like that.
probably would have helped.
Yeah, the chip actually helped my
the
throat.
chip probably clear out some of that.
Because he was breathing a lot better yesterday after the chip.
After, but whenever I first went over there, I had like a little bit of a sore throat. And
he was smelling things at the other end of the county building. It's like,
but as soon as I ate that,
you smell that? That's going from the clerk's office. We're in the sheriff's building.
I didn't have a sore throat anymore. I'll tell you that.
He just smelled salsa the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, yes, that's good. So thank you for having us here.
Anytime, thank you guys,
Thank you.
and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And anytime you guys need on for anything, just give me a holler. And
Absolutely.
And anything we can do to help you guys, let us know. We'd be happy.
We appreciate you.
Thank you guys. Stay safe out there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun.
No, we will.
Always,
man. All right, 8:56. Quick break before news. Don't go away.